Hi, my name is Harriet Dawn Scumisalaces. I am a grade 12 student from Catalunya Pequeño National High School under the academic track, so-called as Grade 12 Croatia in the track of STEM. So, this topic will be very important to all of us because the content of this video is all about a very interesting topic, because today I am going to share to you the knowledge that I was able to get as I studied all about the Calvin cycle. And to start with, let us first have the first word, so-called as autotrophs. Autotrophs are also known to be producers, and producers give us oxygen, and scientifically based, without these producers, without the oxygen that they give to us, we cannot survive, and in return we also give back to them carbon dioxide, which they use in order for them to process photosynthesis, right? But that's just an add-on topic, but I'm not going to focus more on that one. So let's go back to a Calvin cycle. So what is a Calvin cycle? It's a very good term. It's such a very interesting term when someone speaks about it, when someone mentions it. So to formally start with the discussion, let us define what is a Calvin cycle. A Calvin cycle is a process that plants and algae use to turn carbon dioxide into sugar the food autotrophs need to grow. And so in the module, in our general biology class, there was a task in there wherein we need to make a three-dimensional model. And at first I was very hesitant to start making it, even if I already had the chance to scan, read, and answer all of the different topics that we need to give answers or provide answers for in the module. I was still hesitant because I think that the knowledge that I have at that time is still not enough for me to be able to have a deeper understanding about all of these things, all about Calvin cycle. So I decided to research more, to dig deeper, for me to be able to also share it to you. And I am documenting everything because I also want to have an assessment if ever the lessons that I was able to research, the topics that I was able to understand and inculcate in my mind, if they are all true, if they are all correct. So I'm going to try to share my learning to all of you. I hope you will enjoy. Okay, I have here my three-dimensional model. As you can see, it is very simple, very practical, right? But this has a very deep meaning out of it. And we are going to discover as we proceed with the whole session. Okay, so I use recycled materials based on what has been instructed in the module. So I have here a pot, which is from the plants of my mother. And then I have here a leaf. And also these are clays inside. I could not let you guys see it by this time because it's very hard, because the arrangement here might be damaged, and so I'm not going to take the risk, but I will let you guys see it by means of flipping the camera into another angle. Okay, so let's have the formal discussion. Okay, let me get this phone first, and then I'm going to discuss all about the Calvin cycle. Okay, let's transfer into a much more beautiful lighting. That one. As you can see, if you're going to see it, you're going to clearly understand everything. But allow me to present the concept for me to be able to understand better as well, because repetition is very good for a student, and also for me to be able to share everything, right? Okay. I'm just rearranging it because I cannot let this clay stick into that leaf. Okay, here we go. Okay, again, this is a Calvin cycle. A Calvin cycle, again, is a process that plants and algae use to turn carbon dioxide into sugar. That's very amazing, right? So how will that process happen? How will the carbon dioxide suddenly become a sugar? What would be its use? How would it be very beneficial? Okay, so let us start with step 1. here's the step 1. I just made a logo in there, like something like that. So that is so called as carbon fixation. And CO2 binds to RABP sugar with the help of Rubisco. So we have here the carbon dioxide, or represented by CO2. And in the CO2, we have 6 carbon molecules splits into 3 carbon molecules. Okay? So that's it. Step 1, and then this is CO2, and then the different factors that I have mentioned earlier. And then this thing here, this brown thing, is just like a connector, like an arrow for us to proceed to the next process, so called as the BGA is converted into G3P. That would be the process. Okay, so we have that as our step 2, and then it has already become a 6,3P. And in the 6,3P, we have here the ATP NOPH, or the energy from the light reactions. And then as you can see, there's like a small arrow in there, and then we have here the step 3 already. The step 3 is what we call as carbohydrate formation. There is G3P turned into carbohydrates. So the process already happened in step 3. So from carbon dioxide, it already became as a carbohydrate, or also known as sugars. For easy understanding, let's just call it sugar. And then arrow again, and then we have this ATP. I'm going to have a reformation of all these things here. That's ATP. That's energy from the light reactions. Also, the one in here, this is also energy from the light reactions. And so we have there a C3P. That's C3P. And then the next one, we have here the step 4. Okay? Step 4 is our regeneration phase. This is the G3P plus ATP used to make RUBP. So what is RUBP? When we go here, this is a representation of RUBP, and that means that the cycle begins again. So going back to step 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. But I'm going to add an additional idea, an additional lesson for all of us. As you can see here, we will have here a chloroplast. There is a chloroplast in this part. I'm sorry because the leaf is very weak already, it could not survive at all because there's no stem already, as you can see that. But there's a chlorophyll in this part, okay? For example, there's a chloroplast in that part. So what does chloroplast basically mean? Chloroplast in the Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma of a plant cell. So again, the Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma of a The Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma of a plant cell. So this is basically a plant cell. And then there is a chloroplast, okay? Correction, there is a chloroplast. And then inside the chloroplast, there is what we call as the chlorophyll. And the chlorophyll is what makes the plant green. That is why when we take pictures, it is very fun to see, very beautiful, no matter what we wear, no matter what kind of lighting we have. It is very beautiful because in the chlorophyll, there is chloroplast, and chloroplast makes the plants green, and that is why we deeply appreciate nature because it is very beautiful. So basically, that was my whole research about what is a Calvin cycle. So you see, it is very important to be able to know about that so that we would be able to appreciate, love, and plant more. Be a plantito, so everyone could benefit out of it. See you again in the next video. Bye!